Hello, and welcome back to the Taylor Seminars, where we talk about how Taylor Swift turns life into poetry. My name is Hannah. How are you, Exquisite, my wonderful co host?
Hi, Hannah. I'm doing better. I hope my voice sounds better. Yeah,
It does,
I'm
it
excited.
does. We are here to talk today about the track five on Midnights. You can't tell, but Exquisite is like so happy to do this. You're on your own, kid, which is I think immediately once people heard the song was like, oh, like this is one of the top tier tracks. We'd already heard so many, but this
Yeah.
was immediately a fan favorite, quality in every way. What do you think?
Yeah, and I mean, when you think about it, you're on your own, kid. The ripples through space-time this song has caused based on one line. I have so many friendship bracelets.
No, literally, the impact, the tangible impact this song has had is insane.
I mean, when you really get into it, there are some songs that wouldn't exist without You're on Your Own, Kid.
That is true. The You're on Your Own, Kid to songs like So High School Pipeline is real,
Yeah.
along with others. But yeah, it is a beautiful song. So let's back up a little bit. So if you don't know, track five, ever since I think the Red era for sure, Taylor's kind of known it as the vulnerable song on the album. It started out kind of as an accident with songs like "Cold as You," but then it ended up having a life of its own, and so people have always been anticipating the track five. And when we saw the lyric, or not the lyric, the title, "You're on Your Own, Kid," people were like, "Oh my gosh!" Like we're gonna get something akin to maybe The Archer, which is very personal, vulnerable. And wow, was it not vulnerable?
hmm Yeah, I remember when the song came out, people were like, "Oh, this is not that super sad," because for whatever reason, there's this idea that track five equals the saddest song on the album. And I don't think it does. I think it just is the most vulnerable song on the
Correct.
album. Sometimes that correlates to being like super sad. Sometimes it's like, no, she had to get this off her chest. Like The Archer didn't make me cry immediately. And then I sat with the lyrics and I was like, oh my God, what the hell? And then You're on Your Own, Kid. I was like, oh my God, what the hell? Why would she say this? Why did she write this? Why would she do this to me? Ugh. And so she's just always good. And You're on Your Own, Kid is I think one of her best track fives. I'd have to re-rank them. For a really long time, Dare John was always my number one track five,
Mm-hmm.
even above All Too Well. I don't care what anyone says. Hot take. Dare John was always better than All Too Well for me. But I have new things and I don't even know how to rank them because we get So Long London, which is a fantastic track five. And then How Did It End is like the other side of track five if you hold the albums side by side. And then it's like, but then you have You're on Your Own, Kid, which we wouldn't have So Long London without You're on Your Own, Kid, when you think about it.
Yeah, there are some realizations happening in this song.
Like, oh my.
Oh my. So let us jump
Yeah.
in, shall we? Let me start with verse one. Before we get into it,
Yes.
this is a is this a this is produced by Jack and Taylor. Is it a Taylor only written? Let me see. Oh no, written by both. Okay, so they're
Um,
yeah, they were in the studio together, and this popped out. All right, let me read.
mm-hmm.
Summer went away, still the yearning stays. I play it cool with the best of them. I wait patiently. He's gonna notice me. It's okay, we're the best of friends. Anyway, I hear it in your voice. You're smoking with your boys. I touch my phone as if it's your face. I didn't choose this town. I dream of getting out. There's just one who could make me stay all my days.
Oh, okay. I have to confess something. That is okay. I have to confess something.
Okay.
Um, In that first verse, every time I hear I touch my phone as if it's your face, I need you to know. We've had we've had midnights for 3 years now. I've been saying I touch my phone as it fits your face, and I never knew what that meant.
Well,
But, it makes sense that it's if it's
your
as
face.
if it's your face.
A-
I just put yeah.
and it makes it sadder. Okay, well, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, yeah. Which I know that just and mind you, when I finally like read the lyrics, I don't even know why. I've read the lyrics before, and for whatever reason, even as I sing it, I'm like, as it fits your face.
Well, I mean, I mean, yeah, it does have that. It's you're my lock screen background, and I touch it, because you're not here.
Yeah,
So,
I think it's because the way she's singing it is not that she's slurring the words, but because the if ends in an F and it starts with an I,
right,
I
it just it
combine them
blends. Yeah, that's very
as it
funny.
fits, as it fits.
But that's I just appreciate that that's the first one I've ever, like I've ever heard. Like there's
Yeah.
other, misheard like Starbucks lovers that
Hmm.
um mosaic broken hearts mostly are broken hearts like other people have done, but yours
Stand back
exquisite
wasted.
is unique. That was
Thank
uniquely
you.
yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, I love the beginning. Summer went away, still the yearning stays, and that's such a narrative thing, like summer love, like from Greece, right?
Yeah.
Even Tim McGraw, you wake up and find that summer gone, right? Like this idea that the joy
Mm-hmm.
and the sunshine and the long days are over, right? Even like you're like there's a
And Taylor loves to sing about summer.
Oh yeah, like summer also represents
August.
freedom. Yeah, freedom, youth, exuberance, and carefreeness, and that season is gone, but the yearning, that burning
Yep.
desire, is still there, which is like so sad. It's like you want something that's
Yeah.
gone.
And then you have to, it also kind of reminds me of like just the opening. Not that it reminds me of Peace, but it does. The same opening line of our coming of age is come and gone. So she's like, Summer's went away, but
Yeah,
I'm
no,
still here
totally. Yeah,
wanting
suddenly
you.
this summer it's clear.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But
Um,
I play it cool with the best of them.
yeah, she's
She's
like,
trying to be
is it
normal.
her very like delicate esque, vibe? Like, is it cool that I said all that? Like, cause like in her head she's like freaking out, but outside she's like, you're just a fling at a dive bar, like no big deal. Um,
Yep.
and so she's waiting for him.
And then it's like he's her best friend.
Yeah, ouch.
Yeah.
um, and it's very much
Yeah.
reminiscent of a lot of the early Fearless love songs of like "You Belong with Me," where like we're best friends. Like I get you. Nobody gets you like I do. Like your records and your all that stuff. And if I wait, he's gonna notice me. Good. What is that
Mm-hmm.
lyric? Girl. In Sad, Beautiful, Tragic. Good girls, hopeful they'll be, and
Long.
long they will
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah, but we know now statues crumble if they're made to wait.
Well, yes, but this is she
But
hasn't
this one
learned
is like,
hasn't learned that
yeah,
yet. Well, learns it.
she doesn't. Right now, she's in her foolish one era in
Yeah,
verse one.
yeah.
The fearless, speak now. That's my best friend. Oh my God, one of her early singles, the teardrops on my
Mm-hmm.
guitar, of
Yeah.
her being like, I will wait and he's going to notice me. And again, I do think it's interesting we're seeing this first verse is all early Taylor because we realize that this is like her looking back on her life and where she's going. So verse one is like teenage, youthful. The only thing she wants is this dude, you know?
Yep. And
Well, until we get a little further down, but
yes, yes. And so she hears it in his voice. I think to me that it's like I hear that either it could be a couple things. You're either lying to me about where you are, like you're smoking, or you're lying to me about smoking, or you're lying to me about your feelings. Like there's just something there where like it's not what I want to hear. And then
mm-hmm.
she touches the phone as if it's your face. It's the only thing that's connecting them is this phone. They're not
Yeah.
together.
And she's holding the phone so gently, like that yearning, the yearning of I touch my phone as if it's your face
Mm-hmm.
is like I want to be with you so bad that just the thing holding your voice, I'm gonna like cuddle and
Yeah.
hold all gently.
I,
Ugh.
okay, well, saying that now, like I do, like one interpretation I have of this is like Summer went away, and I think in Tim McGraw, he's like maybe like graduating or something, and so he's
Hmm.
off in college. She's off smoking. He's this big boy, and she's like, if I wait, he's gonna come back, right? Because I think to me that's why that I didn't choose this town to dream of getting out. Like he's gone out, but I'm still here. I have this idea that he's kind of separated, whereas she's like,
Mm.
okay, what's next for me? That's the vibe I'm getting.
You
Um,
know, that's so interesting. I've never got that vibe. And the only reason I didn't get that vibe is for the same line of I didn't choose this town, I dream of getting out. There's just one who could make me stay. It was giving like because he's in this town or this town
ah,
is him, like because he's the West Village and
you,
I'm New York, it doesn't matter. Because like this town is screaming his name so much. That's why I would stay. The only reason I wouldn't leave is if if he picks me.
you know what?
If he
That's why
chooses
you got
me.
to read to the end of the stanza. You're absolutely right. That's totally what I would also. I totally agree with you.
But I think it does stand to reason like he is away from her. There's so that could be that separation
Yeah,
of
it
if
could.
she's younger, he's at college, but he comes home every summer here.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, we can bridge this gap,
We can
or
have it both.
yeah, or maybe yeah, his college might literally, or he just might be at college, different campus, right? Like, and
Hmm.
so all they can't see each other between, you know, classes anymore. She has to wait for him to be done with Bio 101 or whatever. Um,
Exactly. But all her days.
yeah, and yeah, no, yeah, and that's happens a lot too. People go to college, whether it's community college or state school nearby. It doesn't have to be, across the country or whatever. But in any
Yeah.
case, yeah, we've seen this language about her wanting to leave before, right? Like,
Yes.
again, going back to Fearless days, like in Whitehorse, right? She wants to. Oh gosh, this is a small town, right? Um,
Hmm.
and then
Back in
there
my
in my
rear
rear
view
view,
mirror,
disappearing now.
disappearing now.
And so there's this very yeah, more fearless stuff. I love that.
It makes sense that this is all fearless in debut, actually, because when we get to verse two, it like we get into her speak now era. Like genuinely, okay, actually I'm getting ahead of myself. Will you read the pre-chorus, Hannah? I
You
feel
should read
like
the
there's
pre-chorus, pre-chorus,
oh,
chorus.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, from sprinkler splashes to fireplace ashes, I waited ages to see you there. I searched the party of better bodies just to learn that you never cared. You're on your own, kid. You always have been. So literally from this, she's like, from when I was young to like getting older, she was waiting for this one person that would have made her stay in this town. And she's like, oh, he does not like me. I was the foolish one.
Hmm.
There's someone else on his arm, but that's fine. I'm on my she's like she's telling herself like you're on your own and you always have been. And right now in this first chorus, that is a sad thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I love the way that she tells time in this pre-chorus. Like
Yeah.
sprinkler splashes, that's the summer, right? We're little kids, it's
Hmm.
hot, they're running through the sprinklers. Especially, it also evokes like youth because you have, kids wearing their swimsuits, right? Like adults, I don't think do this quite as
Hmm.
often. My kids did this when they were, really young. They would run through the sprinklers to fireplace ashes. And fireplace ashes, well, fireplaces are usually like winter, right? And then
Yep.
ashes are dead, right? They are fires, leftovers. And so it's like,
Yep.
so summer, vibrant green grass, youth, and then fireplace ashes, winter, cold. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, both all of these literally each word is a telling time, and then that shows it's like a like a not is it a, what is it called, like a not a montage, like a
It's a
I know, but
montage.
there's a specific term, like a time lapse. It's a time lapse
There we go.
of and then you see her just standing there while splashes turn to like fall leaves, turn to fireplace ashes, right? And she's
Mhm.
just standing
And
there
she's
alone.
still waiting. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my God, you know what that is?
What?
She's sitting in the restaurant. My
Yeah.
things are passing around.
No, literally. Yeah. She's
Oh my
just
God.
and again, good girls, hopeful they'll be and long they will wait. Right?
And then
Um
she comes to that realization of, oh, I'm looking at everyone I think that's better than me, and you never cared.
yeah. Yeah. And then, you know, she's been stuck at parties before the moment I knew, right? Like and you never
Hmm.
showed up. I've realized you did not care, right? Like or no, 10-minute version,
Yep.
right? Um and you watched me watch the front door all night willing you to come. Hello.
Hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, it's again, it's a little bit ahead, I feel like, but it's still like I feel like in it's like You Belong with Me sad version where he does not show up to the girl on the bleachers and just goes to homecoming with the cheerleader and she realized, "Oh wait,
Yep.
he
And
never cared."
it's the teardrops on my guitar. Like Drew looks at me and he won't see. He won't see. So
Yeah.
she's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'm on my own kid. Drew does not see me. And then we literally get into great to verse two, Hannah.
All right. I see the great escape. So long, Daisy May. I picked the petals, he loves me not. Something different bloomed, writing in my room. I play my songs in the parking lot. I'll run away. Ooh!
Oh, I love it because at the end of verse one, we got her being like, the only person that'll make me stay is him. And then he does not want her. He
Yep.
doesn't see her, doesn't know who she is. So she's like, I see the great escape. And that is just so good. There's escape and escaping, except she's not bolting. She's bolting from a like suburban dream life she could have had if she stayed. Hello, Midnight Rain that we
Yeah.
haven't got to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but so long, Daisy May. And like for this, for those who don't know, you know Marilyn Monroe. Her real name was not Marilyn Monroe. She
Mm-hmm.
was Norma Jean. And so I imagine, because I feel like there's a universe where Taylor Swift is a stage name, even though like it works in her favor and for the type of writing she does that she does not have a stage name. But she could have picked one. And I imagine like she's like, I'm this small town girl, Daisy May, but I'm gonna change myself and I'm gonna become something
Yep.
different. I see a new future.
Yep. Yeah. To me, like, um, yeah, Daisy May very much sounded like. I mean, it has the nice wordplay of like, um, the flower daisy because next line we're gonna get I pick the petals, right?
Yeah.
It also has the May, like the summer connotation, right? Like the summer is gone, so like the flowers are gonna die. We're ready to move on, right?
Mhm.
So I loved that. Again, she's a wordsmith. She's a craftsman.
Oh, I know. And she literally does three lines of flower things. She goes, so long, Daisy May.
Yep.
And May is April showers bring May flowers,
Yep.
right? So because of those April showers, so long, Daisy May, I picked the petals off of Daisy, and
Mm-hmm.
he loves me not, and something different bloomed, like a new flower.
It's
And
crazy.
it's something different bloom writing in my room. Like she is planting these new flowers. She's on her bedroom floor writing songs on napkins.
Yeah. I picked up a pen and an old napkin.
Yeah.
Yes, it's beautiful. It's um she writes, if you don't know, if the picking your petals is a reference to this childhood game that many people play where you pick a flower, you think about the person you have a crush on, and you would pick a petal one by one. He loves me or she loves me, then pick the next one. She loves me not. And then if you end with she loves me, they love you. Otherwise it means it doesn't love you. It's a very sweet, simple game that just uses even and odd numbers. Um,
Yep. And
but
she got to the last petal and was like, "Oh, he loves me not.
yeah,
That's fine.
yeah,
Something different's coming."
exactly. And the playing the songs in the parking lot is such a sweet line because there is actually a um, picture of Taylor playing in like the parking lot of like in like Tennessee somewhere.
She was so little.
Yeah, with her like big debut curls, and yeah, this girl was a hustler. If you did not know, she would drive to every single country radio station in the country basically to get them to
She was
play
going
her
door to
songs.
door.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like
And
she worked. People forget Taylor's like the biggest world's biggest indie artist because she built that that record label from the ground up before she left.
Yeah, and even there are continue to be old radio DJs who get interviewed about Taylor, and they're all like, yeah, like she would come by with her mom, and she was the sweetest. Like all, like it's well documented how hard she worked, because yeah, as we know that she didn't always have the best experience in school. Like she's written up songs like "The Best Day," which is also
Hmm.
from Fearless, right? Where she was like, I just need to write because this was her escape, but also her joy. Well, why don't you do the pre-chorus and the chorus?
Yeah. So basically, it starts the same. This from sprinkler splashes to fireplace ashes. So she's like, at over the course of time, and that she's in this new place. I called a taxi to take me there. I searched the party of better bodies just to learn that my dreams aren't rare. And that reminds me so much of Speak Now of the I called a taxi, take me there. Speak Now is when she first moved to New York.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like looking around and she's in this like party. This it's a different party now. It's not a school party. It's like a business party, and she's seeing so many people who she thinks are better than her, and they all have the exact same dreams that she does. And so she again in her head is like, "You're on your own, kid. You always have been. You are not unique, but you are alone, and they are all better than you. And this sucks."
Yeah, yeah, and to me, the taxi definitely. Yeah, Speak Now is when she moved, but taxi also just reminds me of um,
Yep.
like you've totally left your life behind, right? Like you didn't,
Hmm.
bring a moving van. You didn't have your parents, and drive your old car. It was like, hey, like I hopped on a plane at LAX with a dream in the
I was
cardigan.
literally about to say at LAX with the
Yeah.
dreams in my card again.
Right? Like, and yeah, and obviously Taxi is very reminiscent of like New York City. And yeah, I think we also see here that, um, Better Bodies is repeated, and Better Bodies clearly is a alliteration, but also, yeah, I mean, we do know that she did struggle with all these body image things happening. And I can
Hmm.
only imagine that at an industry party or, um, it's just heightened to such a bigger degree.
Yep.
Every high school girl has compares, but then to be in now New York City, I feel like would be like such a
Hmm.
shocker. Um,
Exactly.
and then yeah, and then on top of that, like everyone's hustling, everyone's trying to make it. Um, I wonder, feeling like, I mean, I would be like, can I trust these people and things like that. It's just hard. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And then we get the most beautiful bridge ever. Taylor loves a ranty
All right,
bridge,
you.
and
I will let you do it.
literally, if this, oh, really? Thank you. That's so sweet. So again, we start with the from sprinkler splashes to fireplace ashes, but then she like goes in. She's like, I gave my blood, sweat, and tears for this. I hosted parties and starved my body like I'd be saved by a perfect kiss. The jokes weren't funny. I took the money. My friends from home don't know what to say. I looked around in a blood soaked gown and I saw something they can't take away because there were pages turned with the bridges burned. Everything you lose is a step you take. So make the friendship bracelets, take the moment and taste it. You've got no reason to be afraid. You're on your own, kid. Yeah, you can face this. You're on your own, kid. You always have been. And I just, because if you look at the other choruses, she combines them again. The she searches the parties, and then she first she's searching the parties, and now she's hosting the parties.
Mm-hmm.
So we see she's like grown up over the little instrumental break from when she first gets to New York. um yeah, and they're just, Hannah, you want to?
Yeah, I mean, this is a fascinating bridge because it's not a true bridge in that she, like you said, she repeats and brings back
Hmm.
so many things. Uh, it's like a cyclone of a bridge where it picks up everything that she's been talking about, and then has that like at the end, right? after I saw something they can't take away, because there were pages, and then it elevates, right, and she goes above the storm, where she has these
Hmm.
epiphanies. You can't see me, but I'm like literally spinning my hand in a circle. Epiphanies and realizations and like renewed strength that comes out of this song. And so yeah, yeah, we'll dive back in from. So we have the from sprinkler splashes to fireplace ashes again. Again, this passage of time, life to death of her life, and then I gave my blood, sweat, and tears. So that's every single bit of her, to the point of pain and death, even, and the sanity
Hmm.
she's given up.
Yep.
um, she's hosted parties and starved my body. This again goes back to
Yeah.
what we said about her body image. She talked about this
Yeah.
in Miss
I think
Americana
this is the
documentary.
first time in song she's ever like just said like on Midnight she's saying things so plainly.
Yeah.
So she's like, I hosted parties and starved my body. I don't know how much clearer I can say that this is something that happened.
Yeah. No, this was her most explicit in music, that she was about her eating disorder. And why did she do all this in the beginning? Like, I'd
Like
be
she'd be saying.
saved by a perfect kiss.
So
Um,
she's like, some person, the love of my life is gonna come because of all this. Because even through all this, where she's like, I love music, want to do this. She did start out like writing. She was like lovesick girl, and something was blooming, and that made her realize like I can leave. And so at this part, she's like, it's all gonna be worth it if I find someone perfect. And then I love the like I'd be
mhm.
because it's in there is the underlying nothing can save me but me.
Yeah.
And the outer persona is aware of this while commenting on what younger her was doing.
Mm, yeah.
Yep.
And then the jokes weren't funny. If you do not notice, dear listener, there have been many jokes told about Taylor Swift that tear her down, and she was
Yep.
forced to smile and laugh and say thank you. Um, I would say, yeah, that's that there are so many sexist jokes that we can list, right? Like,
Hmm.
she only writes about her ex-boyfriends. Um, she never says that she's the problem, even maybe she's the problem. Um, yeah, and they weren't funny. Sorry.
Hmm. Also, I've just these the the jokes are funny. I took the money. My friends from home don't know what to say. In those two lines, we get uh, and the line right after is I feel like we get that summer of 2016 because that to me right here I took the money is kind of a Swiftism because it's a shortened version of like, you take the money and leave, like take the money and go. She's like, I took the money and she leaves the and leave. And in the lucky one, she goes, how you took the money and your dignity and got the hell out.
Right.
So it's an allusion to that. She doesn't have to say the rest of it because then in the very next line we get my friends from home don't know what to say. So she took the money and went back home. She left.
Mm-hmm.
She is gone. And
But
they don't know what to say
yep.
that she's been torn down
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. It's not, and she couldn't just escape, right? And live a new life. It was like nobody like knew what to do with her. And I
Hmm.
also get this sense of the jokes weren't funny. I take the money gives me this idea of like, you would think that there would be comfort in getting the money, right? Like, at least I have the money, but there
Hmm.
is no comfort. Another thing that evokes in me is this idea that like, I wonder if she ever thought like, because I'm successful, I have to just take it, right? Like, even though you're a human being, Taylor, and
Yeah,
you don't deserve any of the sexist, misogynistic, cruel comments, like, I think I do feel like like a idea, a bad one on the internet that's like, oh, you're a billionaire, just take it, right? Like, why are you complaining? Like,
exactly.
you're rich and successful, but no, she's a human. First and foremost, she's a human being, and I see that as a critique of that too.
I do as well because yeah, she's like I shouldn't have done that. And again, it's I shouldn't have had to do that to
Yes.
just smile it off and send flowers when big SNL company owners call me a terrorist.
For context, it came out that Lorne Michaels, when Taylor once called Lorne Michaels, who runs SNL Saturday Night Live, to ask him not to run a sketch that she was like kind of part of that, or she was referenced, and he said, "I don't negotiate with terrorists." Obviously, he probably thought it was very funny, and when the sketch did air, Taylor sent him a note saying, "I hope there's no bad blood," which is crazy.
Like he made fun of her, but she is like apologize. Ugh.
Yeah, the power
Anyway,
dynamics are crazy. Um,
anyway, it's fine. But it's not fine. I don't know what to say either.
yeah, I
Bridge from
don't know
home
what
don't know
to
what to
say.
say.
Yeah, like what? Yeah, it's and then she looks around in a blood-soaked gown. I mean, immediately I thought Carrie.
I also thought Carrie, and I think Taylor also thought Carrie because for those of you who don't know, not to spoil a like 50-year-old book, probably not that old. I'm being dramatic. Actually, it could be that old.
No, I don't think so. Actually, 40,
Actually,
40.
I think it's old.
It is old.
I think it's old
It is
because
old.
the film came out in the 70s, I feel like.
Oh,
In the
then
book, it was Carrie is a Stephen King book. It was his debut novel, and it's about this girl, and she has magical powers, but she doesn't know this yet. And she is like utterly bullied in school. And to one point, it's prom, and the kids had like gathered together and elected her prom queen. They crowned
as a
her.
joke.
She was like, yeah, but it was a joke. And once the second she got on stage and got her crown, the biggest moment of her life, quote unquote, they dropped pig's blood on her. And in that moment, when the pig's blood is on her, Carrie has a realization that she can do power and she kills everybody. She has magic and kills everyone. And so that all of that is like contained in this line of I looked around in a blood-soaked gown and it's like Taylor was like I was at the height of my powers or the height that she thought was her peak and we know now it's not. 1989 was not. And that's when the summer of 2016 happened and she was like just humiliated at her lowest and she saw something that they can't take away. This was her epiphany.
Yep. Yeah. Just so you know, the book came out. You were correct. 50 years
I
ago,
knew I knew
1974. The movie came out in 1976. So we're like straddling right there.
I was right.
You're always right. Um, yeah, I mean, I even see this as this blood-soaked gown. I think about it as 2016. I also think about it in a little bit in 2009, the VMAs when
Mhm.
Kanye stole the mic. I think you're right that I lean more towards 2016 because in 2009 she thought everyone was booing her and she wanted to like hide. But I think in
Mhm.
2016 that's when she saw something they couldn't take away.
Yep. She's
Um,
because she
yeah,
went into hiding, but then I think it's like that offered her that moment of clarity and realized that all of her hard work they could never steal from her.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
All of the things she poured into herself, from learning to write in her room, from playing in parking lots to become a better live musician, like all of the blood, sweat, and tears that went into this, like, you know what, like it did make me better, stronger.
mm-hmm.
And even in some ways, I feel like she still kept her softness and gentleness. Um, and yeah,
Yep.
because yeah, there were
Because
pages. Go
yep.
ahead. There were pages turned and bridges burned. But go ahead.
No, no, I was just saying, like, because there were pages turned and bridges burned.
Okay.
And all of that is like she's mentioned bridges like in her song. I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking, call it what you want
Mm-hmm.
to. The
Mm-hmm.
bridges burn, I never learned, at least I did one thing right. But she's like, even though I had to burn some bridges and I had to blank page on a desk, I had to start over.
Yep. Yeah.
Everything you lose is a step you take.
Yep.
Even though I have to go again and again and again, I'm going to be fine because I'm learning new things. I am realizing just how much I can overcome things.
Yeah. It also makes me think of like
Ugh.
just because if you have to go if you have to go around something, take a detour, if you have to retrace your steps, but you get on the right one, that's a good thing. Taking those steps back
Mhm.
to that lead you to the path forward is a victory. Um,
Yep.
and and yeah, the swelling of the music here is just
I know. It
Incredible.
was so good.
And then yes,
So make the friendship bracelets. She's like, spend that time. Everyone who's listened to this has probably either made a friendship bracelet or got. And when I tell you those things are labors of love, they're so annoying to make, but making them feel so good.
I will tell you, I'll be honest, I am not crafty at all. And so, shout out to friends like Irene who graciously helped me procure. My other friend Megan also helped me procure some. But
Shout out to Thea who made the most beautiful ones for me
yeah,
as well.
and yeah, it's incredible how much people appreciate it, and yet and also just how much camaraderie it brings. If you've ever gotten a friendship bracelet, you know the feeling. Yeah, where it's like, yeah, make these silly things, right? Like
Yeah.
these uh cute, sparkly, shiny things, that yeah, take forever, but those things are meaningful, right? The
And if you make the right one, it might just change your life.
it might literally, you just put your number on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, and also like making a friendship bracelet, like you're honoring that friendship or that time. And she's literally like, take the moment and taste it, like savor it.
Yeah.
Don't try to rush out of it.
Yeah. And that's what we tried to do with the Eras Tour. We literally
Yeah.
watched extra hours on live streams so we could take the moment and taste it, right? Like, um, yeah, and I mean, I wonder if this is kind of like a Taylorism. It's like, because you have like the seize the moment, right? You
Yeah.
have, but yeah, she's like, take the moment and taste it. And the way the T sound works in this, you know me, like everything you lose is a step you take. Friendship bracelets with the T at the end. Take the
Yep.
moment and taste it. So many, yeah. You've got no reason to be afraid. Um,
That you got no reason to be afraid. I'm like tearing up right now because it's like she's building up to it, that you got no reason to be afraid feels like an exhale over a song where she's been holding her breath the whole time.
yeah,
It's like, you've got no reason to be afraid. It's because you're on your own, kid. You can face this.
yeah,
And it's like, it is in that moment where she's like, I always, no matter if everyone else leaves me, I'm going to have me. And I will bet on myself every time.
yeah. He's got my past frozen behind glass, but I've got me.
That's what it is. It's like, I've got me. So it's like, you can face this because you always have been on your own.
Yeah,
And this time, that for the very last time, that you're on your own, kid, feels like a comfort versus a like loneliness and a sadness, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. And I don't think it means that, you know, you literally have to walk these streets alone, right? Like you're
Hmm.
solo. It just means, hey, like you have yourself, and that's so much, right?
Hmm.
Um, and you can face it.
Because look at what you did.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Um, Not to quote Hamilton, look at where we are, look at where we started.
But also to quote Hamilton, I don't know. It's just there's so much in that of the I saw something they can't take away, because she's like looking at her past and she's like, I made those steps. Like, even though I was losing stuff, I did it. So it is just like this magnificent thing to realize that, like, realize your own power. I don't know. I love when Taylor talks about her career. This is Hannah, you'll get this, but I wonder how many people in our audience get this. This is her the heart part 6, if you think about it.
The Heart Part 6 by
This can be
Kendrick
the
Lamar.
heart 5.555. Yeah. This is her the heart part 13, if you think about it. Taylor and Kendrick are very kindred spirits. Um, but yeah, this is her like looking around and being like, look at how much work I have done to get where I am. And I've done it. And yes, she had help, obviously, but she's not even denying the help she had, because she's like, make those friendship bracelets, make those bonds, but you don't have to be afraid that they're going to leave you.
And
And that's one of Taylor's like fears of being left behind and being alone.
that's a perfect segue because, right, like I think you were insinuating this, alluding to this earlier, where she needed to know that she had her own strength and power so that she could move on to the next phase stage of her life, right? We know what comes after midnight. It's TTPD.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is her like giving herself a pep talk that like you're Taylor Swift. You are a songwriter, you are a pop star, you are bejeweled, right? Like you've gone through all this crap about unfunny jokes and blood soaked gowns, and everything you lose is a step you take, right? This is
Mm-hmm.
a exhortation to herself um, that she can push forward with even the scariest things.
And that is just so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And like, over the years, this song means more and more to me, and you can tell it means more and more to Taylor. They say if you go to the Eras tour multiple times, or I say if you go, like the Eras tour is still happening, but if you went to the Eras tour multiple times, you either heard Maroon or You're on Your Own, Kid. And I heard You're on Your Own, Kid, and I don't know. It's just like a moment of having an entire stadium sing that You're on Your Own, Kid. You can face this
Yeah.
is crazy. And it's also like there's so much stuff this song can hold. I think of how Stevie Nicks like got on stage every night and was like, Taylor Swift, thank you so much for writing You're on Your Own, Kid, because it is like held me and been with me as I go through this grief that she's going through. And I am unfortunate enough to just relate to that on such a deep level of the you can face this. Like it just makes me want to cry to hear like you got no reason to be afraid you can face this. I don't know. I love this song. It's so good. It's so like self-affirming, and I love when Taylor gets self-affirming, and it's so interesting to have that on an album like Midnight where she is so much not affirmed, and so she's like kind of losing her sense of self. Um and we know she does end up losing herself and having to find her way back to herself because that's what TTPD is about. Uh, yeah, so I don't know. It's just I think it's important that this song is here. I'm happy it's at number 5 because it's like we've just gotten from I need to protect this. What has happened before? This is my fault. This thing is so special to her being like, wait, I'm also special, even without that perfect kiss that could save
Mm-hmm.
that I thought would save me. Um, I don't know. We love you. You're on your own, kid.
Yeah, she's a real tough kid, right? Like
Exactly.
she can handle her shit.
So strong. I'm very proud of her, and I'm very
Yeah.
proud of us. Because you know what? Yeah,
We're
yeah.
all on our own kid, you know? And yeah, because you have to believe in yourself first, right? That you've got yourself, and then you can have your community around you and, push you along and pick you up as you go. But it really is, you got to start with yourself, right? Like, like those people who are stuck in terrible relationships, and you're like, please get up. Please.
Please get up, girl. You have no reason to be afraid. You don't have to be scared of being alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Leave him. If you're listening, it's okay to bolt every now and again. Leave
Yeah.
him.
Especially when the signs are there.
Happy post Valentine's Day. This is us saying leave him. It's okay to leave. He's losing you. Leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
well,
that's the end.
well, on that note, Exquisite, do we have an emoji for
I
our.
really want us to do the running emoji.
Yeah, let's do it. Please put a little running emoji. Yeah, you are running. Cause yeah, that's the thing. If you have a bad running partner, you gotta cut them, and you can run
Exactly.
solo for a little bit, and then you find a new person who runs with you better, and you guys can laugh as
Exactly.
you run, and you can push each other, set the pace, all that stuff. They can tie your shoes for you, if you don't want to bend over. Yeah,
But a
let's do,
bad running partner is holding you down.
cut the cut. Call the amateurs. Cut them from the team.
Cut the dead weight,
Yeah.
people. And that's your dating advice from
From the Taylor seminars. All right, what's the next track that we're doing? Here's what I found. Oh,
Oh
that's
my
my
God.
Siri. What's the next track that we're doing?
Thanks, Siri. I don't know if Siri knows. Oh my gosh. Well, I
Is it
did
Midnight
know.
Rain?
What is next? I think it is. It's funny that it's Midnight Rain. It is Midnight Rain.
No, and that's
Because
perfect.
literally,
Yeah, she's
It's
like
perfect that it comes after it
she's
because she's
gonna
like,
go
oh,
back to debut Fearless era. We're gonna do that
that
again.
first verse of if she had stayed and being like, oh, I did not want to stay. I'm happy I got out.
Yeah, but at the same time, why am I thinking about this?
I know.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Once again, we are all over social media, but mostly Twitter. If you would like to send us a tip, we are on Ko-Fi. You can find us Taylor Seminars. We really appreciate all of you for listening, sending your little comments and tweets and tags and all that stuff. And we can't wait to come back to you guys next time with Midnight Rain. Bye.
Bye.